Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Talking About Feelings. My name is Nikhil Prakash, and today I wanted to talk about hair loss. Actually, I wanted to talk about my feelings around hair loss because that's what this show is about. If you've noticed many of my videos, I am wearing a hat. That's because last year during lockdown, I filmed a lot of these videos before I had shaved my head, and I was still hiding behind hats, hiding from top-down lighting, hiding because I felt so much shame and unworthiness and insecurity from a lifetime of having my self-worth attached to my hair and my physical appearance. I know this is something that a lot of men can relate to. I've been struggling with this for the last 17 years when I first slightly noticed my hair thinning. I had always had pretty good hair. I got good compliments. I was attached to these compliments and built a sense of identity around this physical layer of my appearance. I had built a strong identity around that. And so when I first started noticing the thinning all those years ago, I felt that identity was attacked. My worthiness was in question. And so in order to hide from those feelings, I have tried all sorts of remedies. None of them worked. I have even done comb-overs that have defied the laws of physics. All along the way, well-meaning people kept telling me, it doesn't look so bad, just embrace it. And the truth is, for a while, it didn't look bad. Over the years, there's many years where nobody could tell. Of course, I could not enjoy it, because I was always focused on this little spot nobody could see, but that spot grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and especially as an actor, it was really hard for me to cover this up. I can't always wear a hat to an audition. I went and consulted last year a popular hair replacement surgeon in Beverly Hills who's done a lot of the stars. I even put a down payment down for the surgery. I'm going to do this, right? I asked him, what's the best I can look? I know Matthew McConaughey's gotten hair replacement surgery. Can I look like him? He was very truthful, and he said, no, you may look like a slightly better version of Jack Nicholson. Now, Jack Nicholson is an amazing actor, and he carries himself with confidence, and I don't think he cares about his hairline. But if I was going to go through all of this surgery, I did not want to have Jack Nicholson's hairline at the end of it. So it really made me think, right? And I finally got to the point where I said, okay, you know what? I don't have to make a decision on surgery or not. Let me just at least try shaving my head, because I'm going to have to shave it for the surgery anyway. It's locked down. Pretty much no one's seeing me. Let me shave it and see how it works. And I shaved it, and when those first hairs hit the ground, I wept. That sounds silly maybe, but I wept because I had held on to this identity for so long. I was finally allowing that layer of trauma, that layer of attachment, of identity die. And it's been wanting to go for so long, but I was holding on to it. And I allowed myself to mourn it and weep. And it was refreshing, and it was also hard and painful. For many months, did not recognize myself when I looked in the mirror, because I was used to having hair. I was used to having something to cover up, at least, so that I could just focus on my face, and none of that was there. There was no more hiding. So what happened? If you watch this show, you know it's not the hair loss I was hiding from. It was the feelings of unworthiness, insecurity, shame, all of these difficult feelings that were attached to the hair loss. That's really what I was avoiding. I worked through many of these layers of feelings until I was finally ready to take the plunge and shave in the relative safety of social isolation. And then the rest of these feelings that I was avoiding, the shame, the insecurity, the unworthiness, just came up. And of course it comes up, because if those weren't there to come up, there'd be nothing to avoid. I would have accepted this a long time ago. There'd be nothing to hide from. So I started working through these. I cried. I talked to trusted friends and loved ones. I worked through these feelings, and I gave myself an unlimited timeline to work through it. And all this time, I did not necessarily decide I wouldn't get hair replacement surgery. I let it be okay that I wasn't sure. I may still want to get hair replacement surgery. As I worked through this, worked through these layers of attachment and trauma and feelings, I got many positive, amazing, loving reflections from people who are close to me, whom I trust, telling me, "Hey, you have a good shaped head. You look really good. We really like this look on you. We support you no matter what. We love this look on you." So I got reflections from industry people I trust who told me, "Hey, this is going to be great for your casting. This is going to be great for you." What came forward is a natural state of peace and acceptance. And as I laid into this peace and acceptance, I started really reflecting, okay, do I want to get this surgery? My North Star in the last couple of years has been greater peace, greater happiness, greater self-love. Something that was reflected back to me when I shaved my head was that people experienced a much lesser degree of self-consciousness from me, a much greater degree of quiet self-confidence. And as they reflected this back to me, I went within and I realized that's true. I am feeling more at peace. I'm not worried about the lighting in a room or who I'm going to see or, how, constantly being conscious about how my hair is shaping my face or, covering it up with a hat, again, defying the laws of gravity. I'm not worried about it. I haven't been worried about that in months, I realized. And I was like, wow, I am more peaceful. Well, then the question is, if I get this hair replacement surgery, forget the result for a second. If I go through 3 years, because that's what the commitment was, to go through these surgeries, am I going to be more self-conscious? Am I going to be more at peace? And I was thinking, no, I'm just going to be worried about what it's going to look like as it goes through these middle stages. I'm going to be less at peace. I'm going to be worried about my looks all the time again. And I'm going to be giving up the peace I'm finally feeling now, the quiet confidence and the acceptance, the self-acceptance I'm finally feeling now. And then I decided, you know what? Maybe I'll change my mind. I'm open to that. Life's not rigid. I'm not rigid. But right now, it doesn't feel like it's in the direction of my greater peace and well-being to continue to want to get this surgery. So I thankfully got my deposit back because the doctor was so kind. I have just leaned and relaxed over the last year into acceptance. This self-acceptance was a journey. I didn't just go into self-acceptance, right? Like sometimes people make it seem like this is a goal you just have to hit. No, I started where I was. I wasn't ready to accept myself. I wasn't ready to even shave my head for the longest time, right? Well-meaning people always talk about the doing, right? But I first had to work through layers of being over years, layers of attachment, of unworthiness, of insecurity, to become comfortable enough with these feelings until I finally was inspired at the right time, without any force or pressure, on my own volition, to shave my head to see what it looks, knowing that I can get surgery. So, hey, I'm doing lockdown. If I wanted to have it grow back, I can. And when I was ready, when the being was aligned, I naturally went to the doing and shaved. And that led to more feelings. And then I related to these feelings of embarrassment, of insecurity, of self-consciousness, all these things, unworthiness. And I related to them one by one as they came up. I allowed myself to mourn, and I gave myself time, no pressure. I took in only people I trust. I took in their reflections and loving mirroring back to me. And slowly and surely working through layer after layer, being present with layer after layer. Now I look back a little over a year later, and I'm in a much greater place of self-acceptance and peace with how I currently physically look, and I no longer feel the need to hide behind hats. But it didn't just happen. It was relating to the feelings where I am, accepting the feelings one moment at a time, one layer at a time, being exactly where I am without criticism or pressure to do anything I'm not ready for or to jump to where I'm not yet. Just starting in the micro. And then I look back and wow, I'm really proud of myself. So that's what I wanted to share with you. if that resonates, if you're at all struggling with any aspect of attaching your worth to your physical appearance, whether some people it's their weight, it could be your skin, it doesn't matter. And we all have our thing, and I just really relate. And I want you to know that it's okay to be where you are, and it's okay to be gentle with yourself, relate to it one feeling at a time. Notice where you're feeling the feelings of shame, of insecurity, of embarrassment. Understand that when we avoid these things, when we want to change ourselves, what am I unwilling to feel? How much of my self-worth and my happiness am I basing on this physical attribute changing? What is one small step I can do to accept a little bit of how I feel right now? That's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you letting me be vulnerable about my feelings and listening to me. Please feel free to comment, like, or subscribe if you feel so inspired. I'd be happy to answer any questions, or I'd be happy to read your comments, and I love engaging. Have an amazing day, and you are enough. I'd love to hear what you come up with. You can share it in the comments below. If you would like to subject yourself to more of me talking about my feelings, you can subscribe, but just know you have been warned.